The DMs that ended Charli D'Amelio's relationship are far worse than you think. On February 7th, 2024, Landon Barker posted a sterile, carefully worded Instagram story announcing his split from Charli, stating they broke up to focus on ourselves. The internet, for the most part, accepted this. They were seen as Gen Z royalty, a perfect power couple whose every move was documented and idolized. Their breakup was framed as a sad but mature end to a chapter. But this story, consumed by millions, was a masterclass in public relations, designed to conceal a much messier and more calculated reality. Leaked direct messages, when cross-referenced with their public activity, suggest the breakup wasn't about focusing on themselves, but was instead the direct result of a secret conversation that had been happening for weeks, a digital betrayal unfolding in real time. We now have the receipts. The common belief is that this was a mutual decision between two busy young stars. The reality is that the breakup announcement was a preemptive strike, a desperate attempt to control a narrative that was about to spiral out of their hands. So what did the DMs actually say? Who was Charli messaging behind Landon Barker's back? And how does the timeline prove the official story is a complete fabrication? We've mapped the entire digital trail, pull the direct messages, and analyze the crisis management playbook to show you the truth they never wanted you to see. The most damning part of this story isn't just the messages themselves, but when they were sent. The betrayal was happening in plain sight, hidden behind a firewall of curated social media posts that painted a picture of unwavering devotion. Let's build the timeline, because the devil is in the details. According to a now viral screenshot, the first alleged message from Charli to another influencer, a gamer who goes by Zyro, was sent on January 15th, 2024. This date is critical. Just 2 weeks prior, on December 24th, 2023, Charli and Landon had posted a series of affectionate photos from the Kardashian Christmas Eve party. They were the picture of a happy couple, with Landon captioning a shot of them feeling festive with my one and only. Millions of likes poured in. They were selling a fantasy. Yet on January 15th, a message from Charli's verified account to Zyro allegedly read, "Randomly saw your stream. You're actually hilarious." It seems innocent enough, but it was the key that unlocked a private back channel. Now let's jump to January 22nd. This is where the digital double life becomes undeniable. On this day, Landon Barker posted an Instagram story featuring a candid picture of Charli laughing with the caption, "My everything." Publicly, he was reaffirming their bond in the most explicit terms. But according to a second leaked screenshot timestamped that same evening, just hours later, Charli was messaging Zyro again. This time the message was more revealing. "LA is so boring when you're stuck doing the same things. You seem like you actually have fun." The subtext is deafening. Who was she stuck with? What were the same things she was tired of? The conversation allegedly continued with Zyro replying, "You should come hang out on stream sometime, break the routine." Charli's response was a single, loaded sentence. "Don't tempt me." This flirtatious exchange happened while Landon's "My Everything" post was still live, viewable to his 5 million followers. It's a chilling juxtaposition. The public performance of a perfect relationship was running parallel to a private conversation, laying the groundwork for its demolition. This proves the official breakup story was, at best, a calculated omission, and at worst, an active deception of an audience emotionally invested in their journey. So what about the messages that allegedly triggered the implosion? The screenshots that have circulated on platforms like X and TikTok show a conversation that escalates from casual to concrete, from flattery to escape planning. The initial DMs were subtle, but the final exchanges were nothing but. In a message allegedly sent on February 1st, just 6 days before the breakup announcement, the tone shifted dramatically. Zyro messages Charli, "You are serious about being bored, huh?" Charli's reply is the smoking gun, a line that seems to seal the fate of her public relationship. "More serious than you know. I'm over the LA scene. Need something real for a change." Let's break that down. A crisis management expert would flag the phrase "need something real" as a narrative bomb. It retroactively frames her existing, very public relationship as fake. a liability that has to be contained. Zyro then doubles down, offering a clear invitation. Well, my setup is always open if you need an escape. The final leaked message from Charli is the one that likely forced her hand. Careful, I might actually show up. There are no explicit declarations of love or admissions of cheating, but in the coded language of influencers, this is a clear betrayal. Her defenders might argue this is just networking, two creators connecting, but that argument crumbles under the weight of the emotional language, the secrecy, and the timing. The phrases "stuck doing the same things," "over the LA scene," and "need something real" are direct, thinly veiled shots at her life with Landon. This wasn't just a conversation. It was a documented desire for an escape while still publicly performing the role of a committed partner. They aren't just messages, they're receipts of discontent, proof that the breakup wasn't about mutual growth, but about one partner actively seeking an exit strategy long before the public was ever let in on the secret. But who is Zyro? And why him? He is not an A-list celebrity. He's a moderately successful streamer with around 1.5 million followers on Twitch, known for his sarcastic humor and skilled gameplay in titles like Valorant and Apex Legends. He represents a world that is fundamentally different from the high-gloss, high-fashion life Charli lived with Landon. Zyro's brand is built on being unfiltered, raw, and anti-Hollywood, an image that often rejects the polished superficiality of mainstream influencers. For Charli, messaging him wasn't a random act. It was a strategic, if perhaps subconscious, pivot. Landon Barker, with his rock star lineage, his own music career, and his ties to the Kardashian empire, represents the pinnacle of the LA influencer ecosystem. Zyro represents an escape from it. He's an outsider, an edgy but thoughtful personality whose appeal lies in his perceived authenticity. By engaging with him, Charli was signaling a desire to connect with something she perhaps felt she had lost. The power dynamic is also fascinating. By messaging down in terms of follower count and mainstream fame, she was taking control, initiating a connection where she was undeniably the bigger star, free from the pressures of being one half of a celebrity power couple. The choice of Zyro was a statement in itself, a rebellion against the very system that made her famous, and a clear sign of her deep dissatisfaction. Now let's dissect the official announcement itself, because it's a work of art in damage control. Landon's February 7th post was a textbook example of modern celebrity breakup strategy. The language is intentionally neutral, collaborative, and emotion-free. Phrases like "focus on ourselves," "still friends," and "so much love for each other" are designed to project maturity and preempt any speculation of drama or wrongdoing. As outlined in countless industry postmortems, the goal of these statements is to neutralize the narrative and shut down inquiry. Charli notably remained silent at the time, reposting his story but adding no words of her own. This is also a classic PR tactic. By letting Landon be the messenger, her team created distance from the announcement, allowing them to gauge public reaction before formulating her next move. It preserves her plausible deniability. Within 24 hours, an unnamed source predictably materialized, telling a major outlet that their busy schedules just got in the way and they decided it was for the best. This is the second wave of the PR assault, reinforcing the clean narrative through anonymous back channels. But this entire clean, amicable story is completely undermined by the leaked DMs. The PR strategy was not to tell the truth, but to create a version of the truth that was most beneficial for both of their brands, protecting future earning potential. The official story wasn't a reflection of reality, it was a business decision. Ultimately, every move in the influencer world has financial and engagement-based consequences. Following the breakup, Charli's social media engagement saw a noticeable spike as fans rushed to her page for answers. The fan meltdown was swift and brutal. The TikTok comment sections became a war zone. The hashtag #CharliIsOverParty trended for 6 hours in the United States, and her most recent Instagram post lost over 50,000 likes in a single day. As fans began to unfollow, major brand partners who rely on her wholesome image were likely watching this unfold with bated breath. For a full-blown cheating scandal can violate morality clauses in multi-million-dollar contracts. For Zyro, the benefits were immediate and tangible. His follower count on Twitch surged by over 300,000 in the week following the leak. He immediately announced a new line of merchandise with the "Stay Real" slogan, a not-so-subtle nod to the DMs. He effectively monetized his role in the drama. For Charli, the calculation is more complex. While the initial backlash was intense, the drama also made her the center of the social media universe again, driving relevance. The entire influencer economy is structured to reward and amplify drama, turning personal turmoil into a measurable, monetizable asset for everyone involved. So when we look back at the carefully crafted breakup statement, it becomes clear that it was more than just an announcement. It was a calculated piece of marketing for a new season of her life. The story of Charli D'Amelio and Landon Barker's split is not one of two kids amicably going their separate ways. It's a story of a digital affair, a meticulously planned PR cleanup, and the undeniable truth revealed by a handful of time-stamped receipts. We were shown a simple expectation of a mature breakup, but the reality, hidden in her direct messages, was far more shocking and infinitely more interesting. The ultimate insider takeaway is this: the biggest lie influencers tell you isn't in their sponsored posts. It's in the carefully scripted endings they create for their public relationships. And the first casualty of that rebranding is always the complete truth. This playbook isn't unique to Charli. It's the same one used by YouTubers, reality stars, and A-list actors to control what you think. To see how it works every single time, you need to watch our Fresh Celebrity playlist. Click here and you'll never see a celebrity breakup the same way again.